Hi, I'm Andrea Hammes Dodge with the Ames Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us today. This is another video in our series about COVID-19, and we're interviewing some local experts from the community. And today we have Jean Kresse, President and CEO of the United Way of Story County. Hi, Jean.
Hi, Andrea.
Thanks for joining us today. I know you guys are super busy. For most people know, but for those who don't, United Way of Story County is a great partner and leader in our community of supporting everybody in our community, but particularly right now, those who are most vulnerable. When we think about COVID-19, all the stuff that's in the news right now, we have so many people who have access to resources, but we have so many people who rely on the other people every day to help them make it through. So really what we want to talk with Jean today about is the needs right now in our community related to COVID-19, and then the resources you guys are able to coordinate for them and ways that we can help as well. So I wanted to jump right in. And how about, we've been hearing a lot about news about, we have essential workers who are particularly thinking about our medical community, our public safety officers, our water treatment plant. I mean, we have essential people working. Their kids aren't in school right now. What are we doing for daycare for those children?
So as we were talking, Andrea, the landscape in Story County and Ames and Iowa and the nation all changed drastically on Monday. In our community alone, when the 7 schools closed, we have lots of before and after school programs in those schools. That's about 700 children that were without daycare. So that impacts a lot of people, but what we found out early in the morning was, what about those individuals who are working in those essential jobs? So all the ones that you just mentioned, we've been working really hard to figure out scenarios. As a matter of fact, at 1:30 this afternoon, we're going to be talking, we're going to regroup. We had a conference call on Monday, we're going to regroup. We're looking at home sitters that could go into somebody's home. We're looking at the new term care share. Is there a family that's willing to share their and volunteer to babysit somebody else's children while they're on a shift versus, then I can babysit somebody else? Or if there's some of those non-essential workers in the community that are home because they don't have childcare either, are they willing to open their home up to 1 child or 2 children or 3 children? I know that the Department of Human Services has expanded for those that are doing in-home providing, that they can expand to serve a little bit more than what they're licensed for. So that's an option as well. We've had quite a few child care centers close for obvious reasons. We want to contain people so that it's not more than 10. We're looking at current partners, ACPC, YSS, to try to figure out, can they be that child care provider at another location or at their old location, but just in a different level. So working with the city, working with Mary Greeley, McFarland, Story County Medical Center to try to figure out what that's about. I know that there's a lot of Facebook messages out there saying, hey, I'm a high school student, I'm ready to do it. So trying to figure out logistically, how do we share those names with those individuals and families that are needing that care? So more to come, more to come, more to come. That's what we're doing.
That sounds like that sounds wonderful, and obviously you've had lots of discussions about that. Please let us know whatever we can do to help. We obviously can reach out to our members too. You think about also all of the college students who are home, who might be available. So definitely there's lots of great connections in our community. I think it's a great time for us all to come together and do what we can to help serve.
Absolutely. And this is so different because if it was the floods of 2010, I mean, we could rally the troops and say, show up here to do sandbagging. We could do that. But this environment now is, we can't rally the troops and have a large group of people anywhere. And with so many of our partners in the human service arena having to regroup and do things differently within their own organization, we don't have that laundry list of, these are the volunteer efforts you could sign up to do right now, because of just the nature of the beast. So I do want to say that on our website, uwstory.org, COVID-19, our staff, and we're all working remotely as well, there's a few of us in the office, but our staff are keeping that website up as information is brought into us, and really just trying to steer people to that website so that they know if I want to donate food to a pantry, how do I go about doing that? Because I knew how to do it last week, but it's changed. So make sure that everybody gets on that website and just checks things. And I mean, that's one thing that we can do for everybody.
Well, that's a great lead in. My next question was going to be about food insecurity. So food banks in Story County, as well as all the kiddos who rely on school lunches and the after school programs for their meals and snacks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I you know, I applaud all of our partners. I applaud our school districts. I know that if you go to the website, I'm not going to say everyone that's doing it, but I know that, for example, Ames Community Schools has 3 meal sites. It's called a grab and go. So it's breakfast, lunch. They're trying to do that 2 meals on Monday, and then 2 meals on Wednesday, and then Friday. They're also working, and our Annika Mondell, who's our community impact director, who works with the Hunger Collaboration and the Food Pantry Collaboration, is how can we get more food to those families in need? So besides just that breakfast and lunch for that kiddo, how else can that happen? And that's happening at other school districts as well. So go to our website. That's all listed on there as the information that we have is as up to date as possible. And I believe almost all the school districts now are up to date. There might be one that's still out there trying to figure out logistics. And then, of course, we've got a relationship with Heartland Senior Services. So individuals who can't get to the grocery store, and bless the hearts of our grocery stores for making hours special for those individuals. But if they're too scared, or if their system is compromised, they just can't risk it. Rotary Club of Ames, the Morning Rotary Club, we're trying to get the Kiwanis Club, would go pick up those groceries. And Heartland Senior Services are looking at all those individuals 60 and older. So there's that network on there as well. So making sure that happens. And then just think about it in your own neighborhood. If there's somebody that's just a little bit older, or somebody that has special needs, call them up. I mean, you can talk through the door. You don't even have to open the door. Can I grab you a loaf of bread when I'm out there at the grocery store? Can I grab you eggs? Can I grab you a gallon of milk? You know, back to the grassroots of who we are as a community and as a country and as a nation is just, let's think about we before we think about me. And you know, that's just the motto that we have to have. So if you were one of those folks who fortunately got a lot of toilet paper early in the week, reach out to the neighbor who has 5 kids and see, do you have enough TP to get you through the week? Just, you know, I heard Dan on the radio this morning from the chamber, and we working together, we'll get through this. This is not something that's going to take us down. And reaching out to one another and helping where you can, and you know, the good old-fashioned phone call.
Now, another population we're worried about is those of us amongst us who don't have homes. So we have a homeless population in Story County, and what are we able to do to help support them in this time?
Well, I know that we've got several agencies that have residential programs, and that's really, really difficult. Now, Mainstream Living and Friendship Arc, you know, they're acting like a home because that's what they are. So they're sheltering in place. But when you look at the Emergency Residence Project, that's a lot of different family members. So right now they're not accepting new clients at the shelter. They're working really hard to get those individuals into some kind of a semi-permanent housing, if you will. And I know that Jody and her team are working on what's that scenario and what other resources could we use in the community, whether it's hotel rooms. But then again, how can we afford those resources as well? So that's the other thing, is looking at how do we do this? And we also know that this isn't just for today or next week or the end of the month. We know that it's for a longer haul. The only thing is we don't know how long.
Yeah. So those of us out in the community wondering what we want to help, wondering what we can do now to help. I know you guys have started up a new fund to help specifically with this type of situation. You want to tell me a little bit about this fund?
Yep. So let me be really, really clear. When it comes to United Way, what we're doing with those monies are supporting those organizations that we talked about. So we're supporting the additional food that needs to happen. We're supporting the additional shelter that needs to happen. We're supporting that additional childcare that needs to happen. So the funds that are gifted to United Way aren't going to individuals. So if you in your family has a need that you can't pay your utilities this month, this isn't going to happen. But we're funding those agencies that provide that utility assistance and that rent assistance for individuals. So that's what our money is going toward. At this point in time, I wish I could say 20% is going here and 20% is going here and 20% is going there. That I don't know, because I don't know what the landscape's going to look like. But rest assured, we have an allocations committee, we have a board of directors that have a pulse on the needs in the community, and we have a staff and a team throughout the asset process as well that really know. We're already getting an indication of those are the areas that we're going to have to support in the short term, but also in the long term. And then there might be a need out there that hasn't surfaced yet that we haven't thought about. We know that a month down the road with our restaurants being closed to being able to have in-home, or not in-home, but in meals, that people can't go into the restaurant, that a lot of those servers that were relying on those tips to pay the rent, that we're going to see a different landscape in a month from now, I'm sure. And all those people who are working from home like you and are doing what you can to help connect people and what you can to keep us as normal as possible. I say to every one of you, thank you. You're making a difference, because even though there's some of us that are working more in the crisis mode, we all know that we have to take care of tomorrow and the next day. So thank you for doing everything that you're doing. So if you want to donate, we also had our Live United food drive, which we do every year at the end of April into May. We decided that's not a possibility. So you can still donate virtually by cash, because those food pantries then can turn around and buy food from the Food Bank of Iowa, in most cases for 14 cents a pound, and some a little bit higher. But if you want to donate, it's on our website page. You can either pick the Live United food drive, or you can pick the emergency fund. Whichever you want to do is fine with us. And I've been in the community for 34 years. I can put my reputation on the fact that your donations are truly appreciated, and they will go to where the need is greatest. And we're in it for the long haul, just like the rest of the community members are. And we're excited to be among one of the partners, but we want to make sure that everybody understands we're one among many.
Yeah, I'm a longtime supporter for United Way, and one of the things I love about the organization is that I know I can trust that you guys will do what's right and make the most use out of the dollars. The coordination and partnership that you guys are able to do just really makes a difference. It's tenfold of what I could do on my own. And so that's, I appreciate that. And that's where I choose to entrust my dollars. So I would say thank you. And I would love to share that message as well with others, that yes, this one donation, you guys will choose the best avenue and how it can make the most impact on the most number of people.
Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that a lot.
Is there anything else you wanted to share with the group, with the audience today about this, or just in general, the community?
Well, I know, like I said, I know that everybody wants to do something and everybody wants to get out there and do things. I think that if you can take care of your circle, first and foremost, your own family, your neighborhood, your neighbors, maybe elderly people that live across town, if you could just do that check-in. If you've got a loved one in a care center, do the phone call, because we can't get in right now to see those individuals. And I know that for a fact, because my mother-in-law's in one, and it's breaking our family's heart not to be able to sit down with her and hug her and do all those kinds of things. So, I mean, think about that. If you don't have somebody in a care center, just think about maybe dropping a note to those folks that are working there, saying just thank you for what you're doing. I wasn't going to mention this, but I'll mention it now. We got I had somebody stop by the office this morning from your office and got a thank you from the mayor of the city and from the chamber, and brought tears to my eyes, because I know there's people out there working really, really hard. So thank those people in the emergency situations. in the nursing homes, in the hospitals, at the city utilities. And I just thank everybody for doing what they're doing, because I came to Ames a long time ago thinking I'd be here 3 years, maybe 5 years, and I never left. And there's a reason for that, because Ames and Story County it's just a great place to live, work, and go through a crisis with other people.
Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more. Definitely, you know, we've been saying this whole week now, we will get through this, but together we're going to get through this better. So we thank you so much to you, your team, all the agencies that you're working with right now to help all of our members of the community. So we'll have your links. Well, your links are already on our website, but we'll make sure that any other information is on there at ameschamber.com. We have a resources tab as well with some of our videos are links to for employers and employees, especially looking at small business loans, unemployment forms. We have all that kind of information there. So we would encourage anybody to stop on by at ameschamber.com. So Jean, thank you again so much for joining us today and for all your hard work.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Take care.
Right. Thank you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.